Two shipments of girls, a month apart, found in Los Angeles harbor. Go. This isn't some random crime. These shipments were highly organized. The girls carefully chosen by a group of very dangerous men. We're gonna make sure that coming to America was the worst decision Viktor Dragovich ever made.
Skin trade's worth billions of dollars.
You should have killed me, detective.
Dad!
Sophie's gone. You think somewhere in Thailand. Whatever it takes, I'm gonna find my daughter.
No one with a heart can do what you do.
Not money is still money.
Negotiation
Wait.
over.
Hey everybody, my name's Steve,
My name's Michael.
and welcome back to another exciting episode of Podcast in Crime.
Crime.
Have you ever
Yeah, what's your intro for this? What do you got? What do you got for me?
you like
Have you ever watched a movie named Skip Trace?
You like the
Ever
movie,
said yourself, what if I
The
change
Protector?
Letters?
You
That's
like the
all I
movie
can
The
think of this whole
Protector?
time.
Do you like elbows and knees? Because boy howdy.
Boy, do you like watching a man get his knees slammed into someone and their neck snapping?
I watched that man put his
Do
elbow
I
in someone's
have-
forehead more than anyone I've ever seen in my life.
Are you before you saw this, we're talking about a movie called Skin Trade. You already know that because you've seen the trailer before you watch this.
Mhm.
Before you listen, but we're watching a movie called Skin Trade. Two opening thoughts on this. Skip Trace is only 2 letters away, and it could be further away from the possibility. That's all I could think about, by the way. Second thing, are you familiar with Tony Jaa? Did you watch any of his films? Did you know who he was or what he's done before?
Yes.
I know we're both martial arts fans, so I wasn't sure. It's just Ong Bak is his big thing,
Mhm.
and it's Muay Thai.
I was explaining it to Jennifer. I was like, he's gonna need people in this movie.
That's all I can think about. I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna get some
She
fucking.
was like, what do you mean?
knees.
I was like, he's gonna fly through the air, grab his ankles, put his knee in someone's chest. It's coming. And then every time he did it, I went, he did the knee.
Did the thing. Yeah, Tony Jaa and Dolph Lundgren, the combination that never needed to happen. You know what it was? It was like, hey, we've got this guy. He's doing really good right now. Ong Bak does three, I think, in the series. Does really well in Asia. Pans pretty well over here as well. And they're like, let's get an action star in here with him. Like, hey, Sylvester, you want to do one? And Sylvester's like, nah, fuck that. And they're like, hey, Arnold, you want to do one? Nah, I'm sorry. Jean-Claude? No, I'm sorry. I'm doing other things. Like, who do we go to? Oh, Dolph. Dolph wants to do something. Nobody.
I want to make you feel bad about this a little bit. One, Dolph wrote the script.
I believe it because the script was horrible.
That's fair.
So here was my thoughts on this. Like, just open overview thoughts on this whole movie. 2 things. Do you think Thailand is tired of being portrayed as, hey, all we have is prostitutes and sex trafficking?
Probably.
Secondly, do you think Thailand's happy that they brought light to the fact that all that happens there is sex trafficking and fucking and prostitutes?
Well, and I used to say ignorantly, like, I'm never leaving because fucking you get snatched up. But I mean, that shit happens here. There was
Fair.
you heard about the girl at the Mavericks game?
No.
Just last year. This girl, somebody tried to grab her and put her in a van.
Jesus
In
Christ. Yeah.
Dallas.
Yeah, at the end, I don't know if you saw by the time the movie was over, it was like, get the fuck out of here, all right? To end the movie as quick as possible. You can watch it on Tubi, by the way, if you guys want.
Tubi was so frustrating to watch it on, but yeah.
At the end of it, it tells you all the like statistics on like, hey, this is sex trafficking, this is actually happening, this is why it's terrible. Help us stop it. And that's great, but that's not what the movie did for me.
So
I don't know who watched the movie. I'd love to know. Did it go to theaters?
us. We watched
Not
it.
here.
So So apparently he wrote this movie after he read a newspaper about human trafficking. He apparently has two daughters, and doing research and in filming, he apparently became like super involved in the CAST, all capital
Mhm.
organization, which is like a nonprofit to rescue slave victims. And like he would get emotional on set, apparently. Like, so I mean, like
I get it.
it was a real passion project for him, which I think is amazing that you feel this way.
Yeah.
It did not.
He's not a
super
great
translate
actor.
well.
He's not. Yeah, it didn't translate. It was very much a Steven Seagal style movie, which I feel like we run into a lot
It
here.
was. I mean, he did survive a rocket launcher shot through his window.
I'm gonna tell you now. I watched this movie and fell asleep 5 times. I had to rewatch it. I was so pissed.
I don't.
I was
do
like,
that.
you know what? I was like, I woke up at one point and something was happening. I was like, no, I gotta rewatch this whole fucking thing.
I'll stand up so that I don't have to fall asleep and rewatch a movie.
No, Ashton Kutcher. I don't know if you know this is super active on human trafficking.
Mm-mm.
Weirdly, right? Like you wouldn't think that like what does 2 and 2 go together, but like he is adamant about it. You don't see him making a fucking movie like this.
You know what?
I guess you do what you can with your tools, right?
I equate it to here's the platform I have. I want to talk about this thing.
That's fair. We do that.
I don't think he has a social media presence. So all he's got left is to make a movie. If it's a B-list movie with a really talented martial artist, like
That's
also this movie he called some favors. Because this movie had Hellboy, it had
did
Spawn,
have Ron Perlman.
and it had fucking Shang Tsung in it. So not bad. They didn't.
I could not put my finger on it.
Game.
Is that who that was? Was Spawn? Did you say that? I could not
Yeah.
put my finger on who that was, and I'm like,
Michael
I
J.
know. Thank you. I'm like, I'm looking at him like, I'm like, I know this motherfucker. I'm like, where do I know him from? I'm just staring at him like I know. I'm like, I know him. I know him, and I don't know where. It's golly, it was violent. It was. I'm not convinced Dolph was actually a cop at any point,
No.
other than the very beginning.
So, Dolph is definitely starting off as a cop, and then I'm gonna blow your mind. They murdered his family, and this man went on the most realist spree
It
I've
really
ever
was.
seen.
It's like it is
I
how it
looked
would
at
go
Jim-
down.
I looked at Jim and I was like, I get it.
Yeah, no, 1000%.
He walked into a restaurant and with a shotgun and just started unloading, and I'm like, I don't know if all these people are guilty. He just was taking out everybody.
How do you think that the what was it, Serbians? Were they Serbs? The Serbians?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think they feel being betrayed like that?
Mm.
In Japan, I experienced Nigerian human traffickers. It was real
Oh.
weird. We were walking down
That
an
sounds
alley.
really weird.
It was terrifying. Like not terrifying, but like it was. Well, they weren't gonna kidnap me. It would take 10 of them to grab me, but it was more of like kind of jarring. Like, so we were walking down an alleyway in a pretty busy marketish area, not touristy, and these 3 Nigerian guys just sitting on the side, like, hey, you want t-shirts? You want t-shirts? Like, we're trying to sell t-shirts, and every once in a while you'd see them walk up to a girl and kind of just like trying to corral them in, and then you'd see like random men just run in and be like, hey, no, we're good, thank you, and would like push his girl with him, whether they were with him or not. Like, and Kitty was asking what was happening. I was like, well, like they're very obviously trying to drag you into this room. Like, it's not good. And then we were watching like some news later that night. It was like, this is how they're trafficking our people, and like they're taking people away and blah blah blah. And it was the same like little scheme, and it was like basically trying to give away free rap t-shirts, and that was supposed to entice them. It was weird. It was
Right.
so it was weird seeing it and happening, and it being like maybe this. Anyways, that's not what this is about.
So I look up like facts and stuff about these terrible fucking movies we watch. I don't know why I did, but I did.
When
Apparently,
did this one come out?
2014.
Thank you.
Apparently, Tony Jaa which is the Thailand police officer, was at Michael J. White's wedding, and also the wedding's on YouTube.
I think Michael J. White is like a huge martial artist.
He is.
Okay.
First off, fucking love Michael J. White.
Yeah.
Like, the best. I love him. He doesn't do good work, but I love everything he does. He does one thing that I will forever hold to the highest value, and that is Black Dynamite. That man is fantastic. But yeah, I mean, he was in Arrow, I think.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry movies randomly. Like, he's a funny guy too. Like, he's really funny. He was a dirty cop in this, so he does.
I felt like from the moment I knew that I was coming down,
I had a feeling.
it felt
like,
real weird. The
first of
whole
all,
thing felt weird.
You took Michael J. White and you tried to put him in a suit and glasses, and I was like, it's Michael J. White. Like, he's not. I know what this man's about, and what's so funny is Jennifer knows him as a comical actor. She has no understanding of his martial artist side. And so we're watching this, and she's like, it looks like him doing it. I was like, it's him doing it.
It is, I swear.
She was like, I expected this little fight to be short. I'm like, no, let's talk about the fights because there were a lot.
Dolphs were terrible.
I mean, it's just a big white dude.
No, I told someone else. I was like, honestly, like Dolph in his prime, intimidating as shit. Dolph now is just a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Like I just imagine walking to the
intimidating
and be like, oh, okay.
He looks like a man who has worked at a steel mill.
Yeah, 1000%.
His whole life.
Yeah.
I bet you if he shook your hand, he could crush it into itty bitty pieces.
Absolutely. But like he doesn't look like a fucking monster machine made by Russia to fucking destroy American dreams.
Right. You know what it is? He's gonna throw one punch and it's gonna come slow. But boy, if it hits, you're out.
If he connects, you're fucked. Because I watched his kicks were like.
Also, to be fair, there's one time he kicked Tony John in the chest, and I was like, Tony just went flying, and I was like, I kind of get that too. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna take this big tree trunk, I'm gonna throw it at you. And boy, don't let it hit, because if it does, it's going down. Okay, so the movie, right? So Nick Cassidy is a American police officer. I don't even remember the city that he's from. It doesn't even matter. He is trying to track down this terrible mob boss, Victor Dracovic. Also sounds made up.
Ron Perlman.
Yeah. He kills his son, who dies in maybe the dumbest way I've ever seen.
That was my favorite scene.
It
was my favorite scene. It was my favorite scene. He's like, Papa, I'll make you. Like, he's like, the whole time, he's like, just fucking run. Just run. Like, don't be here. Mind you, before was calling him a bitch. He's like, hey, kill this guy. No, you won't. You're a bitch. And then fucking killed the guy himself. And then he was like, let's run. And then he's like, just run. Be free, my boy. He's like, no, I'm going to make you proud,
by the way.
Dad.
It's good dad.
He's like, I'm going to make you proud, Dad. Jumps out in the middle of the fucking alleyway and just blasts it immediately. God,
so he dies. And then Victor is like, or not even Victor. I didn't think Victor did anything wrong, really. Well, I mean, besides the whole sex trafficking. But I'm pretty sure his sons are the one that put out the hit for Nick Cassidy's family. I don't know why. I didn't really get to see them pay for it. I think one of them did. Anyway, doesn't matter. On the other side of the world in Thailand, we have Tony Jaa, who is dating a girl who works at the club. She's an informant for him.
That whole relationship was weird.
Yeah, I didn't like it. So Tony Jaa, we meet him. He's going to buy a girl, and they're like, fuck her in front of us so that we can prove you're not a cop. And he's like, okay. And then he beats the shit out of everybody with his belt. And then throws a man off a building and then goes, negotiation is over. And I was like,
Tony Jaa's English it's his like third language, which is, I get it, but like him delivering already terrible written lines with semi-broken English was one of the most comical things ever.
Yeah, it wasn't good. So I'm gonna say out of the gate, I feel like they should just let him talk in his native language. Number one, maybe like
there would have been no reason not to.
Nick Cassidy could be like, "Oh, I understand what you're saying," but anyway,
he could have made his kid Thai, and then like his wife Thai, and then he would have understood it for some reason.
Nick seemed like a good cop in the beginning, and then he went on a fucking murder spree. We already talked about that a little bit. Tony, the first time we met him, threw a man off the building and was like, I don't know. So out of the gate,
they're both horrible. I don't even know that he was a good cop in the beginning. He was just a cop.
I think it was good.
We didn't get to see enough.
Well, you know what? I take that back because he had an informant that he chased down, got information from him, and then the next scene that informant was dead.
Yeah, that's
Two
fair.
bullets to the head.
Two bullets to the head.
You talk to this man, you question him, and he's immediately dead next day.
Yeah, you didn't do a great job of protecting your informant.
So okay, let's keep talking about this. So they attack and kill Nick's family, and so Nick goes on a killing spree, and he finds out that Victor ran to Thailand. So he flies to Thailand. He has a good friend named Reed, just Reed. Don't know if it's first name or last name, just Reed, who's played by Michael J. White, who is on Victor's payroll. You find out eventually, and it doesn't take long to figure it out. He shoots a Thailand police officer, and then throws Nick an empty gun, and then oh okay, so and then he shoots himself in the bulletproof vest, and he's like, I got lucky, but your friend's dead. Nick did it. Then it's the classic Batman versus Superman. Are you a good guy? I don't know. Let's fight. And so they're fighting, and then they find out that they're on the same team, and then they go get Victor.
I feel like that's never even clearly decided that they're on the same team. There's one
They
point in
got a
time where
car
he's
together.
like, "You didn't kill my friend, and all right, I now accept that you didn't kill him." Like it.
They got in a car together. I think they I don't know. Well, okay, so Tony was watching like videos and stuff of Nick looking for Victor. That's the only way that I can assume that he's like, oh, okay, he's on my side.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of violence in this. A lot of boobs too, for Tubi being like a free app. A lot of boobs. I was just thinking, I was like, fucking any kid can like, you don't have to log into Tubi. Like you just get on.
You don't have to log into porn sites anymore, man.
I guess that's fair.
You didn't hear that from us kids.
Maybe there's more of a parental block is what I'm thinking, like on the internet. But anyway.
I have to check the yes box that I'm over 18. Damn it. They caught me. I'm not. Son of a bitch.
I meant more of like a restriction like on a tablet or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that,
Okay.
It's not a good movie. It's
It's
not a
not.
good movie.
No, it's not. It's tough.
But the movie does a great job of putting a problem with the world in your face and says, this sex trafficking shit's happening. It shouldn't.
And this is how easy it's happening.
Yeah. So easy. Yeah, that was so sad at the beginning. I was so bummed out. This girl is like leaving home. I don't know if she's running away from her family or whatever, but like immediately snatched up, shot up with heroin, and laid in a bed.
Yep.
And she that's what she does now. Also, just a heads up for you, this script was written before Taken. So I also find interesting.
I like that he laid himself up for a fucking sequel. My man laid himself up for a sequel.
Can I tell you how long I looked online to try to find what the fuck with this sequel?
At the very end, he's like, so my daughter might still be alive. That's what I'm hoping. I'm gonna find her.
Oh, fantastic! So in the trivia stuff, it says the open ending was not written with a sequel in mind. But you know what? I guess it's fair. It's just a man out there looking for his fucking daughter because
The never-ending mission.
and any parent would. So maybe if I'm trying to give them some sort of artistic ending, maybe it's like this is everybody now. Now I'm
The search
part of
is
that
never
statistic
over.
of people. Right.
Keep searching.
Oh yeah. So they were like, oh, your wife and kid are dead. Also, fucking weird dad, because he goes into his daughter's room and he's like watching her sleep, and I'm like, oh, she's like 6. She's fucking like 17. And she wakes up smiling, and I'm like, I'm trying to think of myself, what age was I asleep that I would wake up to somebody watching me and not be like, the fuck are you doing? Get out of here.
I think my child now would be like, what the fuck? I get it. I'm so sorry. Have a good day. I was just trying to remember the time you loved me.
Well, good. Miles now, I'll wake up. He'll wake up and see me and be like, oh, hey, Dad. I'm like, hey, bud, go back to sleep. No big deal. But like at 17, I'm like, hey, get out. What are you doing? And then she got up and like reading her lines. And like, you're gonna do great in the play. And she had a play on Friday. Spoiler.
They
she's not making
didn't
it.
they didn't really develop his family a whole lot because they're like, yeah, blown up, fucking dead, sex trafficking. We don't care. They're gone. Like, what did he get? Like a fucking 3 scenes with them, and it was like dead, gone.
It's also randomly him and his wife's anniversary, I guess. And she's like got this laundry on. She's like, I didn't forget. And then he rubs his fucking like sharp rock face on her stomach. And I'm like, I hate this. I hate all this. Why'd you give yourself sexy? You didn't have to do this. His daughter, that's her debut acting gig.
Yeah, did you do anything else? Love it. It was so bad. This whole movie was so bad. He was being really nice by giving it positive spins, but it was. This might have been the worst one so far.
So I have a couple notes that I just want to talk about. Real
I
quick.
keep typing. I went to go pull up the IMDb, and I keep typing in Skip Trace. It's not Skip Trace.
I wrote, the time to prove yourself was not in the shootout in the middle of the pier. It was when a man was tied to a chair.
It was so bad.
I wrote down diluted horse blood because that felt really rough. There's a brother who I guess has a different mom, and they're like, "You're a brother, even if it's diluted whore blood's brother." I was like, Jesus.
Yo, RoboCop was in this movie. I freaking forgot about that.
He was. I'm like, it really takes away from you calling me your brother when you fucking said about.
Yeah, they were
horse
terrible to
blood
him.
mixed in.
They killed him.
I wrote down Thailand Batman when they were shooting that weird fucking gangbang, or they were about to shoot a gangbang scene with an informant. I wrote, I guess I would spot the one black man in Thailand in the airport too, because there's a point where Nick is running through the airport and he turns around and looks and he sees Michael J. White's character Reed, and I'm like, yeah, they're in Thailand, and there's this like 6-foot black man. Like, I guess he would super stand out to me. Also, maybe you shouldn't be leading the brigade, Michael J. White. Maybe you should be the back because he knows what you look like.
Fun fact: the mom and the daughter were both on the show The 100 together.
That does not look like a good show.
The daughter was only on for one episode. The mom was on for the whole.
I wrote most obvious hidden camera ever. He goes back to the office and he's looking for like a hidden camera, and it's this frame with a big hole in the eye of the tiger, and then a big wire coming out of it. I wrote, it's disrespectful to chest bump someone's kick. It was when Tiny Little Tony Jaw tried to kick Dolph in the chest, and he just like chest bumped it and pushed it back. I was like, that's a good flex. I wrote those kids will be scarred. That could have been from anything in here.
It's probably when he fucking went into the shipping container and then proceeded to murder those two men in front of them.
That's right. Yeah. And then I put Hellboy straight up played possum when the helicopter went down and he went to go check on Victor, and Victor just laid on his stomach. It was like, he hit him with the pipe. I was like, what is that? What is happening? I don't want to make fun of this movie because I understand the message she's trying to send, but this is not good. I'm very conflicted on this. They definitely don't get treated back and good.
Look, guys, here at Friendship Supreme, we openly and aggressively believe that sex trafficking, human trafficking is wrong and should be stopped, and we should absolutely shine light on it, as long as it's not Dolph Lundgren. I am so done with this whole series. I think I know what it is.
What is
Dolph
it?
Lundgren, right? Not from the US. One day was sitting there on his couch and fucking TBS, because that would be the only channel that did this, played Rush Hour. And he was like, holy shit, I could do this. And then he just wanted to make his own Rush Hour. And the way he got everybody on board and signed on to do it, because Ron Perlman did it for free. He had to have. Because he didn't put any effort in at all. The only way he got them to do it for free was by being like, hey guys, but we could stop sex trafficking.
Wrong. I mean, yeah, for a good cause. You know what? If you donated the money they made from the movie to charity, I fully support this movie 100%. I don't know if it did.
We'll become
I
the
doubt it
official
did.
podcast of fucking Skin Trade, guys. I didn't like the name.
Don Perlman. I mean, what's that name? Don Perlman give the worst accent I've ever heard in my whole fucking life.
It was rough.
Ever.
But do we have to call it Skin Trade? Is that what it's called? Like, we've called it
Skin Trade.
Trafficked or something? I don't know.
Taken?
Just-
Man. Tony Jaa though, I love watching that guy. Also, I just
He
realized
is
his name in the
talented.
movie was also Tony.
He is very talented.
Like I'm not trying to make things complicated, just fucking name it Tony in this. And
I'm here to kick some fucking people. I really need to stretch my knees out. Just show me the person's face.
Yo, this man loves to get on people's shoulders and elbow the fucking top of people's heads like nobody's business.
You fucking need a man at an angle that does not make sense, and then you hear.
You know what's so funny? There were a lot of times where I'm like, oh, this is a really cool fight scene. And then it would hard cut to him doing some impossible fucking upside down super Chun-Li kick. And I'm like, all right, well, you lost me immediately. We can keep shitting on it. We can get to the end of it.
No, that's guys. Okay, look, they started out as shitty cops. They got worse. They got worse. Like this is bad lieutenant level of horrible coppery. They need take the badge, arrest them.
Nick Cassidy definitely murdered people who deserved it,
but then some that didn't.
Maybe. I feel okay. So I feel like the judge that let Victor go deserved it. I'm just gonna say that Cricket letting this.
You just can't shoot a
crime
shotgun
lord
everywhere, too. Though, like Tony was just shooting shotgun everywhere.
I very much agree. This was definitely. I'm definitely not gonna forget this.
This will sit in my. This will.
Why was a shitty cop? I don't know. There was a good one.
This will sit in my heart forever.
Maybe Tony's friend who died in the beginning. He seemed like he was a good cop.
He went along with all the shit that Tony was doing, though. He was always there, just like, all right.
Yeah, but I don't know if he knew that he threw somebody off the building. I don't know. You could, what's it called when you don't tell someone like they don't officially know, so they could just kind of get by.
Jesus. Yeah, no, take all their fucking badges, arrest half of them. I don't know. End sex trafficking, please. And so that Tony Jaa doesn't have a fucking reason to just absolutely knee everybody into the face.
Hey, maybe that's how you stop it. Hey, keep doing this shit, Tony Jaa.
Next time you go to Thailand, someone take a picture. There's gotta be Tony Jaa fucking.
If I open my front door and Tony Jaa was standing there, or like I imagine there's a knock and I open it and he's like in the street and he just starts running towards my door.
Wound up. It's like, do you believe in sex trafficking? No, Tony, no, stop.
The knee's coming. The knee's coming. That scene in The Protector is my favorite scene. When there's that big old white dude, he's like, oh, and he just bolts out, jumps up, grabs both ankles, and just puts the knee in. This was a movie.
Jesus Christ, guys! I mean, it was a bad film. I think somehow is the only copy that ever exists, and it's actually Dolph's single copy. He sold it.
That's nothing. I found it when I was looking for Skip Trace.
I told you, damn it! Skip Trace is the same movie.
Thank you for listening. We love doing it. Michael tried to make it end, but I'm not doing it. More coming soon.
True definition of your heart being in the right place. Skin Trade misses the mark on making a good movie. Glad we are shining light on issues needed to be stopped, but this movie misses the mark on what it takes to be a good cop. Because of this, Skin Trade loses its badge and go. Case closed.